Greetings, judges. Greetings, judges from Jbcc. We are Chaco, and today we will present the continuing stories of Dyson Motor Corporation, Ltd. Dyson is a well-established automobile manufacturer that has been operated since 1935. It has a global presence with 33 production facilities in 21 countries and has 112 distributors in 158 countries. In the previous presentation, we have suggested Dyson to the electric vehicle industry through merging with a Chinese-based firm, SAIC, which is Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation with EV know-how. However, the company is facing stiff competition from established EV manufacturers like Tesla and Volkswagen, which ultimately leads to two big problems, which are technical-related problems and human resource-related problems, which will be discussed later on.
So moving on to the TOS analysis, there is internal issue and external issue. So of Dyson is that their strength is that they have experienced workforce in automobile industry. They have strong global presence, and the customer nowadays is also increasing their awareness of environmental issue. And moving on to EV manufacturing can also provide them a brand image of innovative, sustainable, and social responsibility. Also, their weaknesses of Dyson is their HR policy, the manufacturing cost, infrastructure, which is those charging stations, and the high cost of expand the market. The opportunities of Dyson is the company they are cooperating with, which is SAIC, has the know-how of manufacturing EVs, and China, which is where SAIC based on, has the largest EVs market. Also, the demands of EVs is increasing nowadays, and Dyson has workforce experience in heavy trucks. The trend of Dyson is the fierce competition in the EV market nowadays, the customer concern regarding charging station, international law and regulation regarding the charging stations, and also economic downturns and risk in geopolitical. So about this, we've come up with the SO strategy, which is targeting Chinese market, R&D to reduce the emission of EVs, to enter the electric heavy truck market. And for WO strategy is review HR policy and regulation, build up infrastructure, which is the charging station in China. For ST strategy is to produce an affordable and high performance EV, the EVAP, stay up to date with regulation. And for WT strategy is to build up more charging stations in other countries except China, for example, Japan, and get a stable supply of semiconductors. Next slide, please. So about the past analysis, the political situation is that the current situation in US might affect companies' operation, especially related to taxation and regulation. There's also other problems like geo-economic politicization and also political instability in any of the country where Dyson operates could also pose a risk to its operation. Condition and inflation rate and investment rate could also have an impact on Dyson financial result. So other than that, social, cultural, which make a trend in consumer behavior and preference could impact Dyson's product offering and marketing strategy. And in technological advancements could offer new opportunity for Dyson to improve its operation, especially in improvement of the battery. But technology could also pose a threat to Dyson, which is in the form of increased competition. So environmentally, the consumer nowadays is increasing their awareness of environmental issues. This might be an issue, and in the legal, the change in law and regulation could impact the company operation. So next slide, please.
So thank you. Moving to me, so after conduct deep analysis about the case, we came up with some solutions to address these two big problems, which are technical related problems and human resources related problem. Firstly, about the technical problems, Dyson is facing with three sub-problems. The first one is shortage of semiconductor. As one of the consequences of the Black Swan event and the unexpected consumer behavior change, Dyson is also one of the companies that have been severely affected. The Dyson procurement department has not been able to secure a constant supply of semiconductor for the near future. Therefore, it's lead to a serious shortage of the semiconductor need for producing EV car. Our solution for this problem is doing collaboration with Denso Corporation to establish a long-term contract for purchasing semiconductors for EV chips. By doing this, we can lower our costs by negotiating pricing and volume discount, get a sustainable supply, and increase opportunity for collaboration in the future. And besides that, by signing the contract with Denso, we also lower the transportation emission and solve the geopolitical concern that's raised in the case problem, and even be able to avoid any disruption due to potential future pandemics like COVID-19. And the second problem is lack of EV battery supply. The EV space appeared to be a complicated system, and part of these systematic issue concern is about battery production and the installation of charging station. To tackle with this problem, we would like to continue applying our strategy in the preliminary round by doing partnership with at AIC, a Chinese-based firm with EV know-how. And to support more, we also would like to get supply from Panasonic Corporation, because Panasonic has a technological system focused on EV battery, and they also supply the battery for Tesla. Besides, we also plan to stay up to date with the regulations such as International Organization and for Standardization, ISO, and International Electronical Commission, IEC, and conduct thorough testing and to ensure that its battery system comply well with our product. And the last problem in the technical problem is charging station equipment. We are also facing a lack of charging station. So our solution for Dyson is firstly build up the facility in China, and then in the long term, they can consider distributing to other countries such as Japan, which has fewer charging stations. And in this case, we could possibly become the leader in the country, which can be considered as one of our strengths to compete with other leading brands in the future. Moving to the next slide, please. So this slide, I will talk about a solution for human resources related problem. So Dyson has only 3% of the managerial position occupied by non-Asians. And it is also facing many HR related issues as raised by its employee. So we suggest that Dyson should apply the Herzberg theory to motivate their employee in both motivator and hygiene factor by start taking some acts as follow. The first one is offer better compensation and benefits. And the second one is address the lack of diversity in management. Consider recruiting or hiring some expert partner in the field to diversify the perspective of the manager board. And then lastly, review and change the decision-making process if it needed. Since employee and hire come from different countries, one possible approach could be adopted to consensus building approach that draw on elements both Western and Japanese decision-making style. Next slide, please.
Thank you so much. Now, moving on to the implementation. So the previous case starts at around March, assuming those two big corporations, Dyson and SAIC, will take 1 year to finish the merging. So our starting time will be 2024 March. So the short-term implementation, it will take around 3 months for contacting the suppliers and outsourcing the batteries and the semiconductor with Panasonic Corporation and also Denso Corporation. And for the market research and marketing, it's going to be an ongoing progress, which means that we started from 2024 and we will keep doing that by updating our knowledge every day. It will help better decision making. Next one, we will improvising the HR policies. And since our demands, our needs can be changed every day. So this is also the ongoing progress. For the EVs factory facilities, we're gonna conduct the feasibility study about where to build, the expected budget on building the factories and facilities. So it's gonna take around 2 months to build 3 facilities in China. And remodeling the distributors. So currently, SAIC and Dyson has so many distributors around the world. So all we need is to remodel those distributors to be ready to sell the EVs. Next one, regulatory issues. So this is all about like regulatory, like the legal problems. So it should be the ongoing, because in the future, they're gonna be change in those issues. Lastly, developing and finishing the EVs testing. So those are the responsibility of R&D department, and it would take around 2 years and 5 months, including the R&D departments from Dyson and also the SAIC. So moving on to the next slide. For the long-term implementation, SAIC and Dyson will both conduct the market research on the US regarding the use of electric heavy trucks. And since this is the long-term plan, so it will be ongoing matters starting from 2026. And the next one, developing the new models to assess the employees' value. So the idea here is to convert the employees into the value. And from that, we can better the perspective of HR management, and we have the new approach to the employees from all over the world. The R&D department will start on developing more like newly efficient EVs model and trucks. So it will take around 10 years to do so. For the long-term marketing campaigns, we will focus on emphasizing our commitment to ESG. Lastly, the financial. Here is our cost breakdown. Our key assumption is that our counterpart, which is General Motors, the top 5 automaker in the world, invest around 70% of its net worth into the EV's transition. Therefore, Dyson will also spend around 31 billion, which are 70% of Dyson net worth, and it will be divided into 6 fields as can be shown in the screen. Now, moving to the next slide. Break-even analysis. So our break-even points are 725,000 EVs, which means that after selling up to those numbers, Dyson will start to earn the profits. So since both Dyson and SAIC has distributors around the world, after remodeling those distributors, we will start to sell EVs. And in 1 year and a half, we will start to reach the even point. So can you move to the next slide, please? Thank you. So in total, we're gonna receive a lot of profits by the end of 2030. And moving on to the next slide, please. Here is our projected revenue growth rate. So overall, it is fluctuated due to the fact that the change in the overall economic environment can affect the revenue growth rate. And it can also be like they're going to be a change in the consumer preference, the trends and habit, and also the pricing and product offering from the competitors. But at the end of the day, our return on investment will be 135%, considering the starting point of investment, which is 31 billion. Next slide, please.
So thank you, Minh. So next, I will talking about the risk mitigation. So we're facing with 2 big potential risks that we can expect this, which is the first one is technical related, and breaking down to more detail. I would say that they will facing with some potential risks such as supply chain disruption, fluctuation in pricing, technological obsolescence, and quality issues. So we plan to we will recommend Dyson to carefully review and negotiate the term of the contract, and also regularly review and update the contract as needed. And one more thing is establishing contingency plan for potential disruption or change in technology. And for the backup plan, we also plan that Dyson should join the Electric Vehicle Association of Asia Pacific to support and receive some support from them if they're facing two big problems. And the other thing is human resources related risk, which we can say that include the recruitment risk, financial risk, implementation risk, cultural risk, and the thing that we come up, the idea that we came up for Dyson to tackle is firstly, building a clear plan for implementation, including setting realistic goals, establish clear policy, procedure, and guideline, and providing training and support to manager and their employee. And the second one is they can form a commit with representatives from different department and employee to review the policy regularly. And in order to cope with financial risk, the company should perform a cost-benefit analysis to ensure that the increased compensation and benefits do not negatively impact the company's financial stability. And lastly, we recommend Dyson to foster a culture to open communication, to encourage open communication and help to prevent groupthink and promote creativity and innovation inside the company. So moving to the next slide, please.
Okay, regarding the expected results, upon implementing the solutions that we have suggested, the main advantages Dyson can get out of this plan are, first, improved competitiveness in the EV market. Secondly, cost saving. Thirdly, improved employee satisfaction and motivation. Fourth is to increase the ESG score as well as enhance business relationships and the quality of its production. These advantages can promise the new Dyson a stable growth and later in the future a strong position in the EV industry. Therefore, we can conclude this presentation with these takeaways. Firstly, we are going to outsource the cooperation with SAIT by learning their know-how and using their facilities in order to reduce the manufacturing costs. Also, secondly, our factories and main suppliers will also be located in China to reduce the transportation costs and to avoid complicated geopolitical problems between the East and West. However, we are going to distribute our products not only in China market, but Japan as our future main market. Thirdly, Denso Corporation will be selected as our provider for the semiconductor, and New Dyson will also join the Asia Pacific EV Alliance to get more involved in the industry. And lastly, the human resource policy will be revised to provide the employees a better working environment and better satisfaction. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.